So Pastor Phil, you just got done preaching a message at LifePoint, our Marysville location.
Yes.
And you talked about finding purpose, finding your life's purpose. And you shared a story. You shared a story about being at a Mariners game and seeing the crowd start the wave and how the crowd has this really just this impact to influence you. Can you talk a little bit more about that and how it affects our purpose?
Yeah, first of all, let me clarify. I went to the Mariners game, but I called it the Dodgers game because they were playing the Dodgers that day. This was about a year ago. And since I'm from, Los Angeles Dodgers fan, yeah, I think, people are so easily swayed by crowds. And, kind of what I was illustrating was when you're at a baseball game and everybody's doing the wave, eventually you start doing it too, because you just don't want to feel out of place. And yet, Christ has called us to be, the Bible says, a peculiar people, right? Consecrated, set apart. And sometimes that means that you don't get influenced by the crowd. And that's what we talked about today in Luke chapter 4, where the crowd wanted Jesus to stay. And he said, I must preach to the other cities also. He says, for this purpose I've been sent.
So good.
Yeah.
You also shared this thing about just like, I'm thinking you're an average guy, average girl listening to your message about purpose, and they want to really apply it. And you shared this point. I thought it was brilliant. You said, trying to like actually live out that purpose, you have to stay present while being mindful of the future. Can you talk about the tension between there?
Yeah, totally. I think everybody wants to focus on what will I become? What will I do with my life? And I think those are great questions. The older you get, you kind of tend to start thinking about, what's this going to look like for me, at the end. And what happens is that you miss, the moments and the people that are right in front of you, right? Everyone knows life is made up of a bunch of moments. And what I was talking about today was if the devil can't take you away from your faith, he's just going to try to speed you up. King David in Psalm 90 said, teach us to number our days that we would grow a heart of wisdom. And so I think when we're talking about purpose, it's not just the future, it's every day. Every day counts because God has put something or someone in front of you in that day, for you to make an impact, whether it be small or whether it be big. Impact is impact nonetheless. So, don't try to look so far ahead that you kind of miss this time right here.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is good.
so good. I love these times because I get to spend a little extra time with you, hence the extra podcast. And one of my favorite things is asking, I know you're a brilliant genius guy. You're a guru when it comes to preaching.
Say that again for the people out there listening. Appreciate it.
And one of the things I value is that there's just so much more. What's maybe the one thing that when it came to talking about this concept of purpose and finding your life's purpose that you might have left on the editing floor? It didn't get into the sermon. What's that one thing?
I don't know if it got left, but I think just really focusing and honing in on the fact of the who. We talked about that. It's like, okay, where am I going to live? Like, what job am I going to do? And I would rather say, like, who am I going to do that with? People have the opportunity and the influence in our lives to shift trajectory, right? You date the wrong person, you're probably going to go down the wrong road, right? You don't have the right voice speaking into your life, you might miss an opportunity. And I think what I hope people got from today, really is the what and the where. That's good. But what's best and most important is who you're allowing in your life, who's speaking into your life, who's mentoring you. And I would just say you cannot find a mentor in a day, in a week, in a month. That takes time. So this is what I didn't say today. Anything you're looking for, you'll eventually find. And I wonder how many of us are actually really looking for somebody to speak into our life. And I would say that takes time. It takes intentionality. It takes patience. But when you find those people, the Bible calls them wise counsel. Anytime I make a decision that's big, marriage, kids, vocation, buying a home, I bring a couple of people in my life because There's always a vantage point I can't see. Can I give you a quick example? Do we have time?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go.
Right now, so I didn't say this today, but right now, you can probably see peripherally and you can see in front of you. But guess where you cannot see? You cannot see behind you. Now, same thing with me. I can see in front, right? I can see you in front. I can see peripherally, but guess where I can't see? Behind me. So here, in this moment, here's what you're depending on. You're depending on that if something's happening behind you, I'm going to tell you.
Dang.
And that's reciprocated.
Yeah.
I'm hoping if something's happening behind me, like you're like, bro, let's get out of here, let's run, right? In life, there's always a vantage point you cannot see, and you need people to help you see what you can't. That's what Jesus did. People did not see Peter for who he truly was. So guess what he ended up doing? Being a fisherman. And Jesus saw what others couldn't, called him up, and he began to lead the church in the book of Acts. So that's what I left off in the editing floor.
Yeah.
Is having those people that can see what you can't.
I love that because it encourages people right now. They might be watching this video and they're like, I don't have a purpose. That's just not true.
Yeah.
Jesus speaks so much more. And I know that I was encouraged by your message. So
appreciate that.
Thanks for spending a little bit of time here. And I can't wait to hang out with you again.
I love at the Ville.
That's right.
love hanging at the Ville, man.
Thanks, Pastor Phil. Hey, thanks so much for listening to Extra at LifePoint. Like, share, and subscribe. Let us know that you're hanging out and watching this content with us.